Hello again. Thanks for coming back. Good to see you. This week, another recap, I think, because again, one of my videos from a few weeks ago generated some response. This was the one when I talked about information in the supply chain and the liability that those higher up the supply chain bear for making sure that that information is made available as a result, not least, of the New York judgment on the MSC Flaminia case. If you know something that's important or potentially relevant to safety during the transport, even if it's not required by regulation, then you should make it available. And I spoke in that video about the potential for IT to make it easier to pass that information down the chain, and what I saw as potentially glitches in that. Not surprisingly, actually, I had a very nice email from Mark Spear from DGOffice.net, who have been working for some years on a dangerous goods specific XML system to put that information into a dangerous goods specific form in order for it to be passed on through the chain. And what Mark said was that basically there are two types of information. There's the information that has to be provided, the DG, the dangerous goods document, whichever one it is, depending on the mode that you're using. And that's regulated. But there's a whole host of other information that does not have to accompany the shipment, or some of it does. You've got the bill of lading, for instance, that's got stuff on it, but you have the SDS, which is not mandatory in the supply chain, but as we've heard before, is increasingly being requested or demanded by supply chain partners. And he also mentioned that there are unpredictable and potentially extensive hazards during the transport of dangerous goods. And so if you are to be seen to be providing all the relevant information, it's not sensible for any software system that you're using to transmit that information to have a limit on the information that you can send. And so DG Office Net, for instance, is now adding the ability to include the SDS along with the other transport information. As he says, this is not in itself a major task. The difficult bit is creating the language, the type of software that can carry that information and communicate it seamlessly from party to party down the chain, regardless of the physical location of the consignment. Now, some agencies, IATA, for instance, IMO to some extent, have been making some progress, but it tends to be very specific. There's another project at the moment that ECTA's working on for the transmission of information through the tank container supply chain. But again, that's quite specific. And I think what Mark's getting at is that there is the potential for an overarching software system that will be able to cope with all the DG information, regulated or not. And that future is not that far off. So it's worth keeping an eye on that, and we will doubtless report back. We'll report it within the pages of HCB at least, if not on one of these videos. So you should be looking at the magazine or the website to keep an eye out for it. But certainly subscribe to this channel and you'll be the first to know when something turns up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.